going to fall for either him or not. Oh, come on! Come on! David Beckham! Oh, goodness me! Yes, Giassi's Alex, can he do it? Yes, he can! Robbie Keane continues to captivate. Back from the depth. LA Galaxy level things up. It is over. The Los Angeles Galaxy have won their 6th MLS Cup.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Cosmos, episode 18. The Galaxy picked up a point, so all of us had to be present. Whenever we pick up a point, it's a special day. Yeah, 4 of us are all back. Mitt, Darush, and GF Andrew. The whole crew. We'll break down the Colorado game, the painful Colorado game, the San Jose draw, and then preview July 4th against Vancouver as they, I believe, sit top of the Western Conference. Could be wrong there, but I don't think so. They're good, but we'll get into that in a bit. But let's start with the pain, and then we can get more optimistic as I guess the episode goes on. It's easier that way. Colorado kind of smacked us up 2-0. I don't want to start talking because it brought up a lot of pain. So someone else can kind of go for it, and then we'll branch off from there.
That game, I just the whole time was wondering what they had been doing in training for the 11 days they weren't playing. I saw no improvement. It looked like we went backwards, if anything, that game. That game, like it was a while ago now, so thinking back on it, it's a little fuzzy, but like that was a game that I didn't even really see us dominate possession or anything, even like how we do in most of our losses. It just felt like a nothing game. We showed absolutely nothing.
I mean, we had 70% possession, 69% possession.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think to your point, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
We had one big chance and 13 shots on target. It was holding the ball to hold the ball.
Yeah.
Shooting for the sake of shooting, and there was no conviction behind any of it. Didn't get a goal. Andrew,
We lost Andrew.
Disappeared.
He'll jump back in when he jumps back in.
It's hard for me to remember a lot of it. Like you were saying, it was a little bit of a go. But underwhelming was the feeling I was left with in this game. And just looking at the past two together, trying to find a little sample out of that. Garces has been the best defender in the back line in both these games.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think we all have our qualms with Garces as a center back in this team, but it hasn't looked great.
Come on.
Okay, we just Andrew's is on the struggle bus currently.
I wasn't sure if that come on was to me, my Garces comments, or
like,
to his.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, Mila. Garces has been great. What are you on?
That's all I really got for that game, though. I think it was a poor display as a team, and then very indicative of the way we came out in the next game, lineup-wise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking sucked. Let's put it blunt. It looked like they didn't care.
Yeah.
Which is just so strange from the previous iterations of what I thought we were growing on. I mean, me and Mila were talking about going and winning this game. This Colorado team is not that great. And they were playing a backup keeper, and they only have really one elite player, which is Mahalvich, and he tore us to shreds, which is a running theme. Anybody who has a good 10 just runs through this team like it's nothing.
I mean,
this team like it's nothing.
Yeah, we tore apart our midfield.
It should. It has nothing to do with the personnel for me at this point. I think it's we're inept.
But that's kind of also the point. Like, we tore it apart, and these guys have never played together. I mean, maybe this season they have, but like, there's not a large sample size of games to go off of where Royce Cerrillo and Sanabria are running a midfield together.
And they haven't had much.
And it might not show in some of these games where it's level footing. But like you were saying, when the team has that creative player, that lethal player like a Mihailovic, I think it's way more clear that we're discombobulated, and especially the last 2 games. Discombobulated is probably the theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time we have good fucking build-up. We look like we're going to make something out of it, and then a pass will just go haywire. It'll just be passed to no one, a ghost.
Yeah, that's part of why this game was so frustrating to me, because it was like we didn't even have that, where it's like it wasn't even the final third pass. It was everything. We just
It
couldn't
was complete, like all over the place. Yeah.
Yuki.
honestly, one of the most disappointing games is because it was, even though this whole season's been super disappointing, that was a game where it was like, okay, we can build off of something here.
Yeah, that one felt like it was on us more so than some of the other games. Whereas other games, we can be like, oh, this is just not our season. Like clearly that was an injury thing. Like that one felt like we didn't put enough in to get a result out of it. And it was depressing and underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks because I remember like very clearly taking screenshots of exactly what I'm talking about, and I can't fucking find them. It's driving me nuts. But the 2 goals that we conceded, and I'm gonna do some searching while you guys continue talking about these games, but it is so clear when either any of the pairings in the midfield, whether it's Sanabria and Cerrillo and Royce, or Royce, Fagundes, Cerrillo, every team that we play has 5 people going against 4 consistently, and I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how that
It's like
in
playing with 10 men every game.
yeah. Yeah, I really don't get it. It sucks that I don't have these pictures because it literally, like, the stills are alarming. Because I think, in one of them, it literally is like a 6-on-3. And we're playing 2 6s. That's just tactically, the discipline tactically just isn't there for me. And that's concerning.
Are you counting Sanabria as one of those 6s?
Yeah, but that's just using Vanny's words. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. If that's the way Vanny sees him, I don't see that.
I don't
Drew?
as a
Is Andrew back?
I hope so.
I think
Andrew.
so.
Yeah.
Here he is.
We've been talking about Colorado, and we're jumping on the idea of Vanny saying that Cerrillo and Sanabria are 2 6s, and tactically, I don't think that makes any sense, and that's what we're on. Have you had the chance to sit in with Vanny talking about Sanabria and Cerrillo as the 6s for this team?
Not on that specifically. He has mentioned Surreal for sure being in that 6, doing that defensive workload. Sanabria, it's been more about integrating him into the team when he's been talking about him. But I would agree with that. Sanabria to me is an 8. When you watched his highlight reels at Nacional, that's what he is, that box-to-box guy. So yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. The 2-6 I think is a bit of a misinterpretation from Vanny. We want to see him get more up into the pitch, I believe it.
Dang, it sucks that we keep losing him.
I know.
That's
I think
so
we
tough.
can infer where he was going with that, though.
Yeah.
I think box to box is a good way of putting it for Sanabria, and once he grows into that role, that is what he'll be for us. Just a box to box, a little bit of contribution on the offense, a little bit of contribution in the defense, hard tackles, just kind of doing it all for us, but not being too heavily relied upon for creating or defending. A connecting piece.
Yeah, he is a connecting piece, and I think he's got real talent, and Cerrillo's got real talent. And when you put them in a midfield with Royce, there's just certain deficiency with Royce being
old.
Yeah. And so I'm starting to become annoyed with the idea of Vanny, in the sense that we gave him this massive contract extension. You got to do something with the guys that are available, and the guys that, like we've talked about, are going to be here. Honestly, Royce has played so well that I want him to stay.
Yeah.
So
I think that we're kind of misutilizing our hold up of like front line right now. We're kind of keeping this merit with Peck and Paintsel, where I think I don't necessarily think they both deserve to be dropped, but I think for the example of Paintsel, I think he's been so especially bad that if you drop him, it'll kind of light a fire under him. And I have only seen good things from Cuevas off the bench. I think a straight.
Oh, you're talking Cuevas as a winger?
Yeah.
The thing with what you're talking about scares me is that, like, we talked about this earlier in the season, and why having Fagundes was the issue is because there's no pressure on these guys to perform.
Yeah.
Especially with the DP tag in this league. Like, okay, you're already touted as one of the designated guys on the team. Plus, there's no competition off the bench to light a fire under your ass. I haven't seen enough from Cuevas to think he can do that, but if you guys think he can do that, I'm more than open to see it.
I've seen
agree with
a
you.
lot more positives out of his game this year than Paintsel's, if I'm being honest.
Off the left, though?
Well, you can move. Peg is comfortable on the left. And I mean,
but he hasn't been.
He can do a job cutting in and crossing too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think it kind of works to Nascimento's strengths. He's good with his back to goal. And I feel like with Cuevas in that more attacking role, he can kind of contribute more on the defensive side than Royce could. He's young. He has legs. He could kind of just swap when we don't have the ball. I don't know. It feels like Vanny is kind of a little complacent with his team right now. And he's not, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more ruthlessness from him because I don't think Paintsel's been anywhere up to speed. I think if he wasn't a DP, even coming off the season he had last year, I think he would be on the bench right now.
Yeah. Update-wise, I don't think Andrew's going to come back. I think it's just too difficult.
That's fine.
We're just going to hope and pray that his computer gets fixed.
In honor of Andrew.
Yeah, and he'll be back in the next one. He did want to say that Vanny mentioned that Sanabria struggled with the elevation in Colorado, and maybe that had something to do with it. I do remember that being the reason
he came off at half.
Yeah.
Here's the image I'm talking about. So I think it's criminal to have two quote unquote sixes, right? Because they're both playing defensive with Royce, and have them both behind the ball, or sorry, in front of the ball, technically, in terminology wise. How are our two sixes in this sense behind the fucking ball?
Is this in transition?
No, like we genuinely had 8 guys back. Like, look at how far Royce is back here. This isn't like a transition play. They're just not structurally.
How do you end up here?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, no, but I don't remember. Like, I don't.
So I'm pretty sure the ball got swung from the left to the right. So it started with their left back. I think I don't know if it's Cannon. Cannon's the right back or left back, but it swung from the left into the middle, and neither one of our sixes, and maybe this is Sanabria being winded, were able to compete. So then it leads to Yoshida having to take a step, and then it just led to a ball in behind. They score pretty easily, but. I mean, what is it? I don't even know what the structure of this back four is, too. Like, look at how close Garces and Yoshida are. Nelson's like 5 yards off the back line. This stuff happens too much for a team that was just removed from a championship to me. I don't know how you can go from being like this tactically sound team with an elite offense to literally the wheels are just falling off every game multiple times. It's just like a lack of discipline.
It goes either like discipline, or it can go back to what we were talking about earlier in the episode, just discombobulated all over the pitch. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Third option, Vanny lost the plot, and he has no idea what the hell he's doing structurally in this, with this team at least, and we just extended him. So we're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out what the issue is between those 3 options this season. But I don't know. I think we can move on to the next game and then talk about it in that sense.
Yeah.
Unless you had something.
No, I don't. And sorry, this game just brought up a lot of anger in me because I forgot structurally about why.
Yeah, structurally, was this better for you? Or
no, it was way worse.
I think it was probably one of the worst structural performances we've had.
Oh my God, we are so lucky to get a draw at this game based off of the first half alone. Like we should have been down by 5.
Yeah.
The second half was much better, much better. But I don't know if it was better because Royce was just unworldly. Like he was unplayable. Like I don't think anyone on San Jose realized what they were up against. Like the whole match.
Yeah,
I don't
Even
even think our players knew who they were playing with for a
they
little
can't
bit.
even come on the same page as him. They're
No.
2 steps behind.
Yeah, the only person, which is so funny, the only player that's really been on the same page as him is Nascimento.
I
And
agree.
we drew him off in the fucking 70th. It pissed me off. So
Hey,
tired of seeing him
we
get,
started playing for a tie. Like I'm like, why are we playing for a tie when our season is effectively over?
Yeah.
and we still gave up chances. It's not like we were void of chances.
Yeah, it
in the
looked like
don't-
we were gonna lose when we made.
I don't
that
know if we played for a tie with that game. I think they brought in the extra defender so we could throw more guys forward and worry less about the transition.
I don't know about
But,
that because
like,
we went
it's just-
5 back with Nelson. You know? I thought we
Yeah,
played for a
but
draw
I
towards
don't
the
see
end.
the
I
point.
think that that's what pissed me.
If that's where we're at, then sack him. Fuck the extension. Like I have a tweet. If you go look at my tweets, 2 years ago, I called Vanny a coward.
I mean, I think he's definitely. I think that kind of comes with the league, though. Developing as a manager in this league develops you as a manager that doesn't take risks. I think it's like you
I don't
have
know,
the team
this has
you
always
start
been a
with,
thing
and-
with him, and we're in a crisis.
Yeah,
Like this is
and
a
he's
crisis.
acting like it's normal. Like we're
And he's
we're having like
still-
an EP season. It's
Yeah,
not the worst season in MLS history.
Yeah, the big thing with him too is I genuinely don't think he can do it with struggling teams that don't have it kind of figured out. He can kind of put the finishing touches to get you there, I think, but in terms of a disaster like this, he's not the guy for me. I don't think he's going to be able to get us out of this, but it you never know. I just can't see tactically how he's going to turn this around. It might just be up
he's
to
not
the
going to
board.
change anything. It's
Yeah,
like
of
we're just
course.
throwing shit.
But then
at
again,
the
he's
wall.
also handcuffed because, like, we say these things, I shit on him, but then I look at the squad buildup and the dude's handcuffed. What can he do? There's no substitutions for any of our players that are like up to par, you know?
Yeah, someone tweeted it, and I'm starting to get closer to it. But someone said that if Vanny Ball is so relied upon being Ricky Ball, then is it Vanny Ball at all?
Yeah, and it's Ricky Ball.
It's
Ricky
just
Ball, yeah.
it's Ricky Ball.
And this is kind of what he had at Toronto. If we think back about it, he had big impact players. Like he had the best player in one of the MLS history, probably in Giovinco.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm worried that
he was a manager off that.
yeah.
He
I'm
had
worried
players-
very, very sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying he kind of had a super. I was just rambling about his
No,
Toronto.
I think it's very scary to think that it'll be okay once Ricky comes back, because there's no guarantee that we're the same team when he comes back. These are, like we talked about, new personnel. He's coming back from a bad injury.
Mm-hmm.
For us to rely on Ricky Ball is crazy, because we clearly have nothing without it right now. So it's a lot of expectation on a guy to come back from an ACL tear and pull all the strings for a struggling team. That's not fair expectation for anyone. Even if he was the best player in the world, there's 11 guys on the field. And if 10 of them aren't performing, then it's ridiculous to think that one guy can do it.
Yeah, it's not a good environment for him to come back in.
No, I do think he can lift up all our players, but
it's
is it
making
enough?
the job harder when it doesn't.
It's scary. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on him, and he hasn't even stepped his foot back on the field yet.
And he's going to put a lot of pressure on himself too. It's a worrying situation.
It is a worrying situation, and we gave him the keys for so many more years that I don't get it. I don't think that you can have the squad that we have and be this bad. It's malpractice. From top to bottom, it's malpractice, and this team isn't good enough from a PR relationship status with its fans over the last 5 years to be this bad and to treat the fans as poorly as they have. I mean, just with all the stuff with the ICE raids and the continued support with ICE stuff. I saw another thing today with them being close to
They were at the
college.
They were at the parking lot.
They were on the college campus though. They weren't in the
Are you
Dignity
sure?
Health
It looked
camp.
like
I just saw the tweet that confirmed
Yeah,
it.
but
That
like,
they're not.
Sure.
They can't do anything if you're not on your property. They have no.
I mean, they would have
In
let
this
him in.
sense, yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, in this certain scenario,
Yeah.
like that's
we
more
can't
on
yell at them for that.
Cal State Dominguez Hills than it is on
I just don't.
Galaxy.
It's just it's such malpractice from top to bottom in terms of what this team's done.
It feels
all
like such a business this season, and last season felt like such a positive move in the right direction of like the roots of what made this club great. And
Yeah.
now it's just kind of going back to the issues of the club right after what felt so promising.
Yeah, this is such a weird shakeup for me in terms of like where Vanny was with Toronto. And yes, he had a star player. Jay Vinko is one of the best players the MLS has ever seen, but they were very counterattacking.
Yeah.
And we've seen this team be the best when it's counterattacking, which is so frustrating to me because I watch us every game try to control possession, which we're not good at. You can't do it without Ricky. Realistically, you just can't. Royce isn't that that player anymore where he can run around the pitch like it's nothing. I don't even know if that's technically ever been like his full game.
That's what I was gonna say. I
He's
don't
always
think
needed
you
support.
compare them.
That's what I'm talking about with malpractice. Like, I don't need to see Yoshida fucking pass the ball 70, 80 times a game. I don't need to see Garces have 60 touches. I'm good, dude. I'm good. Like, I don't need to watch our center backs try to get outpaced every single game. Like, we played a team that has lethal attackers, and I watched us try to hold possession. Like, sit back a little further and let Paintsel and Peck and Royce and Nascimento win you games. That's what we did last year. Like,
we can't do that right now. I think that's this. We all just keep going in a circle because I've had these thoughts too, but it's like they're not doing anything up there. So then you're gonna have a gap in the midfield.
well,
These guys need to get back, and you just like I don't know the solutions are right now.
This goal comes from not playing deeper. Like, we lose the ball once, not even in transition, and then we have Fagundes in the midfield, and nobody closes down this. Nobody closed down a shooter. Like, it's an amazing goal, but this is always going to be a shot on target.
That's Zank attacks for me.
Cerrillo was in.
I agree with the shape too, but I think he just needs to close that down in general. I don't know. But I agree. There's problems everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's another problem that unlocks a different problem. It's a never-ending chain, it feels like at this point.
Yeah, it is a never-ending chain. I'm gonna read Andrew's thoughts on
He had some good points.
this, which is he has said it's shocking how the defensive assignments still aren't clear. Defenders are still way too often. Sorry, I read that text way wrong. But essentially, that we're always like a step behind, and we give up a lot of goals. And that's been the story of the game. And then kind of probably a good segue into what we've seen out of Paintsel. But Paintsel and Peck are just not finishing their chances. And they're way too often being predictable. How many times have we seen a keeper just like dive and make a save on a shot that probably should be in a corner and it's not? I'll put up the stats because they were awful. This is San Jose game.
This was one of his worst games yet, I think.
That 6.8 rating is the most generous rating I've ever seen in my entire life.
So generous. He looked like Cabral out there.
Yeah, 0.44 xG, non-penalty xG is crazy to not have a single shot on target.
Yeah. I keep thinking back on that one that Roy slid off to him where he just skied it.
It's literally
there.
Rosette of Stanford's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He's lacking confidence. He's lacking form. I haven't seen at any point during his tenure here that was the worst performance I've seen him put in. It was the worst shift.
Yeah.
Attitude-wise was bad too.
Yeah, his body language has been really bad as well.
He's definitely in his own head.
Yeah. It seems like he's, I don't know, on the field he's yelling at everyone like it's I don't know. I think he needs a bit of a humbling and a bit of like a reset. I think seeing him come off the bench, he could do something. I don't know. It seems like whenever a player's in this kind of headspace, you just set them down, like give them that chance to recuperate. But
He's too emotional.
If Ricky was back, I'd say yeah. Like I have no problem with that, but we're already missing all of Ricky's minutes at the DP spot. That's just going back to the beginning of the year where it's like
what is he
Peck
doing
just gets
now?
quadrupled.
He's not doing anything.
But he's still creating space. Like he may not be finishing chances, but he's still creating space for Peck. Like Peck has looked a lot better since Painsel's been back. I think you just need to let Painsel get back into form. He's gonna have to get himself back. I almost want to see him off the right. I want to see Vanny the same way that Vanny got Peck going last season. I think he needs to do the same thing for Painsel. Move him to the right and let him do his thing and try to see if he can get form off the right. That's his preferred spot. He's not a left winger. He moved to the left for Peck. He looked much better once he moved to the right in the San Jose game. He still didn't finish the chances, but he looked better.
I think we're just sacrificing one of their performances, though, is the issue.
Okay, so with Nascimento, what would you guys identify as his strengths? Because I think that's more important.
I'm holding up the ball.
Yeah, I haven't seen many weaknesses from
Blair. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. I think he might be a little slow. Is the only thing. Yeah, not slow, but a lack of acceleration.
He doesn't have pace.
He's got
He's not quick. He's not.
Yeah,
quick.
I wouldn't. He's like a pacey
top
forward.
Speed is decent. His top speed it looks good.
So, like
he's aggressive. Like he's just. I feel like we nailed it on pretty hard last time, and it's like he's just that middle ground Brazilian striker,
right?
Brazilian player. And it's great. That's perfect for us.
No, he's been elite. And so I think just playing Peck and Painsel on their preferred foots in terms of crossing ability is going to get the most out of him. Because their weak foots are pretty fucking awful. So every time they've tried to play him the ball, it's been bad. I haven't seen a good cross from either of them when they're going down their like the wings. Like Peck can't play a ball going down the right wing. But during that game to the left,
Cuevas is in.
Yeah, dude, Cuevas, he's a machine. He's a machine. Mean machine. I think he's been better than Yamane in the cameos that I've seen.
I like him a lot. I like him in a more forward role.
I would like them both to play.
We've only really seen that one game he played. In the game he scored, I forget what game it was, but he was playing pretty high in that one. I think that was the only game this season we've seen him
San Jose? Or no, I'm sorry. It was Philly.
Yeah, it was Philly. I feel like that's the only time we've seen him start from a forward role. And it was really positive. So, I mean, I don't know why we don't see more of it.
I kind of want to see Yamane step into the midfield a little more, too. So, if there's a way that Cuevas can still be an overlapper or a wide option while Yamane's offering Surreal some support in the middle, that'd be great. But I'm not sure how we'd be able to do that.
Yeah, it might be a tough squeeze.
You have to play Garces as it on paper it'd look like the left back, but right, because then you'd have Garces, Yamane, Yoshida, and then Cuevas is the right wing. This could be a way of getting Painsel off the bench.
That's true.
I don't know. It's tough. Vanny that's the one thing is if Vanny tried this stuff, I'd have less complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay as long as you try something because at this point, yeah, we're drowning looking for
Imagine
answers.
getting a fucking contract extension and still playing like you're playing for a contract extension.
Yeah. Oh, I genuinely thought we played for a draw. Like that summarizes how I feel about Vanny right now. In a season where we're wooden spooned by a bunch, we need to start winning games. Me and Mila talked about that being the most important two stretch of the season. You have this long break and you come out and just for essentially 3/4 of the two games play like garbage.
Yeah,
is really disappointing. And the only change we saw was putting Fagundes, which we already know doesn't work, in the midfield and leaving Surreal on an island. That was the only tactical change we saw in that San Jose game until he put in a 5-back. It's frustrating times, man. It's frustrating.
Let's move on
Yeah,
to
Vancouver.
future frustrating times.
Yeah, Vancouver. This is their last 5 games. They are really
second.
They're second.
Yeah, they're second.
Yeah, they're second
Game
in
in hand, though.
Game in hand. That's what it is. They got pumped by San Diego. That scoreline's flattering. LAFC game, they didn't really have a lot of shots. They're struggling offensively because they were missing Nelson, White, and I think a couple of other Canadian guys. I don't know if the Canadian guys come back right away. I know they just lost. I don't know if
One of them got a red card
Oh, so one of them's
Oh,
out. I know they've got some injuries and some stuff.
for Vancouver.
Okay.
Ralph Priso and Bongu. I've never heard of him, but
they're still one of the best sides in the league. I do think if there's any time for the Galaxy to get them, this is the time. They've played bad over the last 5. I think they're struggling for confidence a little bit. Obviously, they got a little helping hand by our friends further north. But if there was any game to spark something, I guess it's this one. I guess.
I don't really have anything on in terms of their performances lately, but we talked about it before we started recording. We have to have the shooting boots on. Takaoka has been very good this season. That defense has been very good this season. I think we'll have chances. It just won't be many chances. So we're gonna have to convert those few that we do have.
We got to be clinical.
Yeah, you got to be super clinical. These guys aren't going to give you anything. That's what they've proven all years. They don't give anybody anything. And once they score, they close up shop and they call it a day. And they're really good at doing that.
They're smart about it too, especially without the players they have. I feel like they know their personnel right now. If they go up on us, it's done. I think
we're like those half-ass shots that we've been taking, especially the wingers. We're not getting any luck with that against Takaoka. He's gonna stop them. So everything needs to be hit with conviction. Tackles need to get stuck in the tackles. Like, it just needs to be overall much improved performance from the entire Galaxy squad. And my expectations are not that. I wish it was, but I just haven't seen it this season. I do think we'll see continued performance from Royce and Nasi, but I don't know. And I expect Garces to play. That's about it. Those are the 3 things I could tell you is going to happen.
Is Garces suspended or no?
Oh, shit.
I don't remember. I saw someone say he's not suspended.
I don't think he is. He's not. It would show up on FootMob.
Okay. So he's not suspended, which is great. Because I think that second half, honestly, it's so funny that Preston Judd kind of kicked his ass into gear. He plays with heart. He plays with passion. His head is never on. That's his issue. But
that was the annoying thing.
I'm getting 100.
How do you lose your head when you don't have a head in the first place?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Isn't it? There's something in me that really likes him. And I think that he's just one of those guys that you got to build around. You just got to figure out a way of fucking figuring out how to get him to calm himself down. Because that's the issue. Yeah. He works himself up so quickly that when it doesn't go his way, that's when the screws come unloose and you just see all the recklessness. But once once he's in the right headspace, I think he's unplayable. Like, I don't think there's.
We saw it last season. He was quality all year.
Yeah, he's good. It's just
are we missing Cáceres as a translator more than we thought?
I mean, I think we're missing.
Honestly,
I loved him, just his personality. I know we did see that injury in person. That was tough. And I feel like every time we saw Cáceres, he got like a bad injury. But
what we saw live was the bad one.
I think I saw him get like bad injuries twice.
Yeah.
So it's like we were there for both. He was a big part of that character we had last year, and I think that goes under the radar.
Yeah.
And I know we brought in Zonka either to replace Yoshida or to replace that Cáceres role. Zonka has not been that guy. There's levels in that position, and I don't think Zonka touches.
Yeah. Losing Brugman and him in terms of just what their importance to the team was from
all of those guys.
The leadership is you're relying heavily on it's Fagundes essentially to do the work.
Fagundes, Royce, who just got here, who's still getting to know these guys. is in that second leadership. I mean, yeah, it's Fagundes, Yoshida, and Royce. Those are the leadership group right now. Yoshida's been our captain. That's fine, but other experience is lacking for sure, or at least leadership in that sense.
Before we finish on Royce, the last question I had for you guys is: do you want to see Aude continue to start? Did you think his San Jose performance was good enough to continue? Would you rather see Nelson come back into the side?
I think it's very situational with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's game to game. I don't think we're gonna. I think we'll probably end up letting go of him because of that this season. I think he's just a bit too much on the payroll. I don't know how much he is on the payroll, to be honest.
He's a U22 spot.
Still, but he's gonna. How old is he? He's gonna lose that.
No, he loses it and then becomes more expensive. But the fact that you can bring in another U22,
yeah, it just doesn't make sense to keep him on the roster. I like him a lot as a player, but I think in the position the team is in right now too, I understand the lack of minutes he's been getting. But that being said, I think he actually offers something going forward that Nelson doesn't at all.
Yeah,
it's very situational for me.
Yeah, I think I want to just see him continue to start because I think you either got to get his price tag up or figure out if he's or if he's good enough to be here past that. I think Nelson's going to stay regardless. I just don't think his market's as big. And so he's going to stick around and he likes his role here. I think he's comfortable here. So I'm less worried about that being like Nelson being the backup plan's a lot safer in my eyes. Aude just kind of offers more in a team that can't score goals. I think he just needs to play. And like he's gonna fuck up. Like it's in his game. And having Garces there to kind of clean up the scraps is good. So we'll see. But I always like to let Mila get his run in here because he's the Royce guy. He's been the Royce guy. So to end. Oh, we're holding on. Okay, maybe Dari, you wanna actually start?
No. I said
Oh, I thought you said hold on. My bad. You just went French on me. Sorry, I don't speak that language. Yeah. So Mila, Marco Royce has been our best player for 2 months.
Month and a half, 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, you're his guy. Let's end the episode positive. So
yeah, let's for sure do that. Again, it's kind of relative because I don't think if you'd taken these performances and put them on many other teams, you'd go, oh, that's the best player on the pitch. I think we've been really bad, and he's just been a bright spot in that. A lot of the things we were shitting on him in the beginning of the season and things that we thought like, hey, just give him some time. It'll come good, have come good. He's figured out how to press in this team. It's not an aggressive press like some of our other players, but it's a smart press. He's linking up with our striker, unlike fucking anyone else on the team. And he has this little flair to him that one of your older guys on the pitch, usually you're not expecting that out of. And that's kind of been the game changer, I think. It's unexpected stuff that's opening up the play for us. It's the back heels to Nascimento, little flicks just to make another option come into play. He's been great at those. And I do agree with you. I hope he does stay one more season after this one. I don't want this to be the way he goes out, either in the MLS or just in general with his career. That would suck. And I think we can give him more. This is one of the best players to ever play the game. And if he wasn't hurt, probably talking about even higher than that. These guys need to play for that type of legacy, I think. This is not just some guy from Europe that came over. Like, this is a highly touted player with a huge legacy that can be even more at this age. So with the young guys in our team, I do think they need to try a little harder in that sense, just to match what he's bringing to the table. Because you don't want to be outworked by the injury-prone 6-year-old.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for the rest of the team.
No, it's not a good for the rest of the team, but it's great for Royce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who watch the stats won't remember this season well from him, but we will. He's been immense.
He's got 9 GA in 7 matches. I think he made the team of the match day again.
I think he made the bench.
He made the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bench.
So I think that's like 2 or 3 times in the last like 5 games.
I mean,
He's been
making
immense.
any team of the match day
With this Galaxy side is impressive.
Commendable.
Yeah, I think at some point he just realized that everyone's got to fit in around him. I
Yeah.
think you're probably right, Mila. At the beginning of the year, he was trying to do a lot to fit in, and I think kind of I'm going to use a weird LeBron quote here, but like that same thing what he did with Luka, where he's like, "Don't fit in with us. Like you fit out, and we'll figure it out with you." Like that's what this Galaxy side needs to do. They need to get not on his back, but they need to boost him up because everyone needs to figure out how to get on his level. It's not yeah.
With the players around him too. Like he's very good at boosting everyone around him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just been impossible this season.
Which is scary because if he is boosting these guys, how fucking shite are we right now?
Yeah.
Like imagine we didn't even have Royce. This was a guy we picked up late last season.
We would not have a win.
Be terrible.
Yeah. We'd not have a win.
Terrible right now.
You wouldn't even have like 5 points.
No. Oh gosh, it's funny that Nascimento is like the last addition in this team, and him and Royce are like the
only.
I don't know if that's a coincidence. That's just I think Nascimento is realizing that he's playing with a player of such quality that if you just follow suit, like if you just kind of do what he does, which Nascimento does the flare and is kind of one step ahead as well in his runs. If you're always forward thinking, it'll work out with Royce.
I think that also just comes from a connection thing. And it seems like they've been working on that connection, and that's why these two are the ones playing in those positions right now. Because if Fagundes made that connection with Ramirez, then we wouldn't have a.
I mean, he had ample opportunity. They both had ample opportunity.
Exactly. That's my point.
I thought Ramirez was doing decently well. He's just an older guy. I mean, this is kind of the role I played this season. I was kind of surprised to see him starting so much.
I had high hopes for Ramirez because I liked what he did with Columbus, but I think we've tried to make him something he's not.
Yeah.
And even when he comes on as a sub, we're doing that again, which is super annoying to me. I'm not a fan of the way that we're utilizing him.
We need to just the one game where he looked good is when we were focusing on getting crosses into him. We don't focus on that at all when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, no, him and look at his best, I think he's a hold up 9, and we haven't used him like that at all. Like
Ramirez?
we keep playing balls in behind. It drives me fucking berserk.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
The way we play doesn't make sense.
Maybe
we have these goal scoring wingers, and then we have a target man. What? Yeah. And now we bring in the guy that seems a little more creative, and our fucking goal scoring wingers decide that they don't want to learn, like they want to forget how to shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Because in an ideal world, we would have that target man, and Paintsel and Peck would be able to create something from time to time.
Yeah.
Or opposite, Paintsel and Peck could have their shooting boots, and Nascimento could be drowning in assists right now.
Yeah.
None of that's happening. Not to say that we haven't had the chances. If their finishing has been better, 25% this season, probably have like 4 more wins.
Yep.
It's a lot on them, and I think there's going to be a lot of talk on the DPs. But what we can take out of it is that we can still bring in old people like Royce, like a Yoshida last year, and have them perform. And I think that's going to be huge because at the end of the day, LA Galaxy has that pull to bring in these guys that have that next tier of talent. They just might be a little older along in their career, but we're going to be bringing in these guys until the club's gone. So I think it's good that we can still have that success in these types of transfers, but shit, it's not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, you can look across the street at Giroud going back to Lille and go, well, that tells you kind of the story of what the Galaxy can do compared to other teams. And if there's a case study in making your players fit around that type of star, LAFC is a great example because they have done nothing to help out Giroud. Literally nothing. So cool. I guess we'll end it on this team isn't as bad as their record says, but their DPs just haven't been as good. And once Peck and Paintsel pick it up, if they can actually start scoring goals, I think we'll start winning games.
I think so too. But I mean, it's a big if. They look hopeless. I don't know what it is, but
Well,
we're praying.
Yeah.
in the are you guys good to end it? Because I'll end it.
Yeah, no predicky. No
Yeah.
predicky.
No.
My prediction is Paints will get dropped. That's my only prediction.
Fair enough.
Prediction is pain and suffering.
That's the one prediction we can get right.
That's what this pod was. 45 minutes of pain and suffering. And so I'll end it on a Sandra Dee quote. We are hopelessly devoted to you, LA Galaxy. So do better. I'll see you guys in the next one.
LA are the champions. They're going to go alone. Still back. What a goal. It's 6. They just cannot stop scoring. The volley from Votto. Yes. San Jose carved open with a world-class pass from Ricky Pooch.
Glittering Galaxy and Landon Donovan is the match winner.